The Keeping It Real podcast is a production of SPINMASTER Media. The return of the king type shit. What's good, everybody? Hello, reelers, young and old. Welcome back to the Keeping It Real podcast, a SPINMASTER Media production, a SPINMASTER Media original. We are finally back in popular demand. I honestly can't believe I would actually say that, that Keeping Things Real is back. For those that don't know, my name is Cobbina, aka Spinmaster C, based in, officially here in New York City. Man, I honestly can't believe we're so back. After it's been, let me just say this. You probably would know. You see the title. You see the title of the episode, right? And I don't want to get into too much because it has been a minute. It's been a long time since I released a podcast episode for this show. And now that I have time, it's it's been a long time coming, really. Like it's like a Taylor Swift quote that everyone has been kind of using in their day-to-day life. Are you ready for it? Like the time is coming. I can't tell Pacific quote, but hey, that's where we're at, And I'm just excited to be back, I mean, first and foremost, I do want to apologize or something along those lines because I've been so busy these past 2 years. It's insane how just how life really throws at you, and it's very interesting to me how just life just goes fast, time goes fast. I mean, time goes by so quick. It's not even a joke, really. Like, especially like since I even started this podcast like 5 years ago in COVID, because I got nothing better to do and school got shut down and trying to figure out where where I want to where yeah, but I mean for me that's just the thing. And I will say shout out to my sister for actually like convincing me to actually do this type of podcast because honestly, if it weren't for that, I don't know where I wouldn't even met the people. I would have met, you know, people like Alex Grant, people like Matthew Faraci, even just catching up with like, my Merrimack friends because I've had them in the past, first and foremost. And so it's like, wow, it's been really that long. It has been that long. But I am very excited for this. I'm very excited to have this podcast back. It's been many years since I've been on hiatus. And I think the question that, is on people's minds, where the hell have I been? Where the hell have I been these past 2 years ever since this hiatus? So I'm gonna kind of break it down and I'm gonna try my best to kind of keep it, like quick, short, simple, sweet. So why don't we just get straight into it, I believe. I mean, of course I'll be talking about new stuff for the podcast in just in the next couple of minutes because I do want to kind of make this episode short. Where have I been? Well, I'm glad you asked. I was in grad school. I was in grad school at Boston University. It's crazy that I even said that. And I'm even a Boston University alum now too, which is also just the craziest thing because I went to one of the best schools in Boston after I finished up, I believe like my bachelor's is about like a year. So it's been like, yeah, I feel like this has probably been like a gap because I have been working on an internship at that time. And I've been job searching, all that stuff, which also I will get into. But it's like, man, hasn't been that long. But yeah, like in my grad school journey, I did so basically I was part of the television program, more particularly in the producing management track. I have met so many incredible people in my cohort whom I want to shout out. So shout out to like my cohort fall 2022. Everybody's out and about in the world, you know, just to see them, especially here in the East Coast and here all the way in the West Coast, just been doing their thing, just been killing it. Like my good friend Caitlin, who's at Legendary now. Shout out to her. Michaela Sullivan, who's actually like a chief of staff for like I think like a newsletter slash podcast type of thing, but and also she's doing like stand up comedy on the side. So I'm very very like I'm very stoked for her and kind of see what she does there. She is like a she's very very funny as well. I so wish that like I want to take a vacation in an LA and just kind of like see her, just got to see a comedy show just to see Michaela. So shout out Michaela Sullivan for sure. And then you got Megan, my good friend Megan from Boston, Massachusetts, who is actually in her bag because I think like, and this episode will probably be released after this, like after probably after a couple weeks, but she's actually hosting a block party type deal and doing some creative direction type stuff and just paving her own path in that way. So I mean, honestly, like as she should, because that is all we have to strive, you know, and just like getting ourselves out there and just like getting by and just getting ahead. Because I feel like that's as creatives, I think that's you know what we're all supposed to do. Because who's gonna do it but us? I know for me, that was one of the things that really kept in the back of my mind, you know, as I've gone through this journey and stuff like that thus far. And going into this new chapter in this regard. Shout out to all my professors, especially Sheila and Don Daniel and Jeff Kahn, uh, Debbie. Shout out Debbie because yeah, she had an amazing class of like producing a like a web series type of deal. And let me tell you something. I've been doing quite a lot, especially my second semester in Boston, which I had so much classes, which kind of affected, you know, my busy schedule, especially like my podcast. So of course, like schoolwork comes first because I don't want to mess this up, especially in this level of work, learning more about the whole television business, the trades, the whole 9 yard. You know all that stuff. It challenged me to kind of think in a way of thinking of you know thinking of how to be a producer and how to like make those decisions and stuff along those lines. And so that was one of the things that like I always try to better myself. And it's crazy to me. Like this has been honestly a crazy time, especially 2023. 2023, I've done a whole lot. I was vice president of the grad council. I wrote a couple of scripts in class, I believe two. One's for a web series and one for his drama. And I have to do a thesis, which is a production book from a drama script that I wrote. So that was quite a lot there. And that was also like the most challenging projects I ever had to make. So that was that. And then I was abroad in LA, like fall 2023. I had this amazing internship with Fox Entertainment, but not Fox News, though. Let's not get it twisted. Fox Entertainment in their scripted development department. Like, I'll tell you why. This is honestly a full circle for me, especially like, interning for Fox Entertainment down in Los Angeles, because when I was about, I think like a freshman, sophomore, like those years in high school, I used to watch this show called Empire, which is, amazing show with Charles B. Henson, like Terrence Howard and and the cast members, and just seeing like the representation of it. Like I want to make stories like that. I want to make stories that like that amplifies those underrepresented voices. And so it was just a complete full circle for me because actually I finally interned with the people that actually made these stuff, especially like in that kind of department. And just looking back, like I honestly can't believe I actually worked at a studio like Fox Entertainment, which is very rare. It is one of my incredible achievements in my career so far. And so that has really opened my eyes, and learning more about the broadcast television business and just the trades, like in real time, the strikes were happening, and just, man, honestly, like I just looking back at it has been incredible, really, and also a very like crazy time too, because like I said again, the strikes with SAG-AFTRA and the Writers Guild, they're trying to get a deal, which they finally got through, thank goodness. But can the studios uphold that promise? So we'll have to see, but we're gonna have to work really, really hard to get our money's worth. We gotta get paid for what's worth, and most importantly, trying to get ourselves out there in a way and just fight and just fight. And that's the most important at the end of the day. That was that experience for me, especially like these past 2 years. And of course, I finally finished up December 2023, and I made it official in January of 2024. So, which is last year. And I walked in graduation in a small like ceremony in May. So that was that was pretty interesting. And so like I'm so grateful of those years. I'm so grateful of the connections I made. Also forgot to mention Culture Detritus. Shout out to them, and also shout out to Carl Hansen, who I actually connected with at a BU class, who connected me through this internship with Fox. So I would believe shout out to Carl for making that happen. Um, because he is like a producer and director for Culture Detritus. And outside of that, he wore many hats in the industry, including working at Fox Sports as like a programming director, I believe, for sports specifically. And it's stuff like that that really makes a difference. And I'm very happy of that how that came to be, and also meeting people along the way too. Even like I was a PA for his short, for like his 48-hour film festival, which by the way won for production design. So, and I met so many incredible people there, and like people who have disabilities and who have special needs, and it's just amazing because we need those voices to be represented in a way. So hopefully, please hire them. Please hire them in whatever capacity possible. Even I speak for myself as well. So like, we need those voices, and that's most important. Now, even in my graduating and stuff like that, and had a wonderful time. Even society in general has been way down in the dumps, I will say. So, excuse me when I drink my tea and stuff. But no, I know like man, how can I explain this without even barking up the wrong crowd? So, a lot of crazy shit happening in the country since the election of 2024. And this is quite frankly my opinion. Um, I feel it's about downhill from here, and I say it on in a way because we kind of are, and I don't want to name names, and I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to bark up the wrong crowd. And so society in general, the double standard, and just seeing it across the board, seeing it across the spectrum, like we really need to speak up on those stuff. And being back here on this podcast, like I mean, I I want to kind of like shed some light on that because what are we doing? What are we doing? And I think like we have to come together, even despite our differences. But listen, one side is, I mean, the rhetoric and the double standard and also lines that are crossed. Like it ain't that good. It ain't that good. Like despite what your affiliations are, despite what you believe in, and despite what life throws at us, we have to come together. And I think that's the most important. Really, that's the most important. Because like if we don't, then I feel like it's gonna get chaotic from here. So I just want everybody to know that, including the issues that matter the most, even though it's like so hard to kind of like speak upon your mind and then people try to silence you. And so that in and itself, we have to be better at this, especially like as Americans and as human beings as well. So that I think really we have to be better at this. We got to be better at this. And so that's why I'll leave it there in that topic. And so as you probably can see, I'm in this new environment most recently because as I said earlier, I'm on this new chapter. And the question that people will probably be asking, what have I been up to, especially in this kind of realm. So I am in New York City, like based around there, and I'm living with my sister, which is cool. So basically, like I've been on this job search for a long, long time. For those that know me, I've been trying to find my foot in the door in this industry, but unfortunately, it hasn't been that good because I was home and because I was in my I was in my hometown in Connecticut, which kind of, you know, and I just want to say like that in itself, like I want to kind of like branch myself out and try to find opportunities, especially now on the East Coast, New York, New Jersey, especially New Jersey. New Jersey will be, I think they just groundbreak the like a studio for Netflix. And so like I thought maybe that could be my only chance. So I decided to come down here around New York City. So I guess here I am. And so like I've been here since August. And in that whole month, let me tell you, in that whole month, I have met so many filmmakers, creatives, and just people who are in that same exact position as me. Like, it is just refreshing to kind of get to know people that share that same interest as me, even outside of filmmaking. Like, I feel like I found my people, you know? And so that was incredible. That I honestly, to honest to goodness, it really is. For me, like, met so many, especially like at networking events too, like even fun ones. Like, for instance, like Showbiz Baby. Shout out to Leela and Miara. I don't want to butcher their name. I can't do it. But shout out to both of them for actually hosting that event. I think it was at like a local bar. I think like either in East Village or Lower East Side. I can't remember, but it's been so fun just kind of like meeting people like my age because like I am 26 and I'm gonna be turning 27 in about oh wow. I'm gonna be turning 27 about Thursday. So when this episode comes out, I'll probably be 27 then. I feel like being here in like New York, I feel like I'm entering into a new era, which is absolutely incredible to witness because it reminds me of like the time I had in LA abroad. Like I believe, yeah, I turned 25. I turned 25. I turned 25 in sunny Los Angeles. That has been the year of the Spin Master because I've you probably if you follow me on Instagram, like you've probably seen that by now. So yeah, like the year the spin that was the year to spin master because I've done so many incredible things, especially in like, being abroad LA, because it has been 4 months. And now that I'm here in, New York, I'm gonna be 27. And that's just one of those feelings that I have. And so that I'm just blown away. I'm very blown away of just being here and being present and being in a moment. It's really, really, really like I'm just forever grateful for that. And hopefully we'll turn up a notch in this new chapter. So I'm really, really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to the opportunities that New York has, and I'm looking forward to collaborating with people that I care and love. And so I'm looking forward to just getting my work out there and just putting it in my portfolio, which I did a website, I think, a few days ago. So definitely check that out, cobbinaappiah.com. Even though I'm trying to like look for sponsorships, sponsorships by no one. So I'm really, really, really looking forward to this. Like, and just really getting seen and heard and just creating stories within my lens of the world. And really, I'm just so excited for that, especially this podcast, keeping things real. So as you may all know, I did do a bit of a rebrand, which you'll see a new cover art, you'll see probably a new design, you're making it seem, like more polished and stuff like that. So I'm super proud of just the creative direction that I'm taking in terms of that. And so I am super excited of what's ahead and what's really coming up for this podcast. Like, I mean, there are so many things. There are really, really so many things. So like I'm trying to like work on logistics as I go, especially now that I'm here in New York. Like I want to kind of do some in studio stuff. I want to be able to do some like even I gained some inspiration from like other podcasts as well. So you'll see those come into effect in just like the next few episodes like this one. So I want to be able to kind of like try and be more conversational than being like, interviewing every time. because I know in every other podcast, people interview people, people interview like, you know, their uh, their creatives, their friends, enthusiasts, and stuff. So I believe for me, I want to make it more conversational, or like more kind of that format, so that I want to be able to kind of like connect not only with the people, but also connect with like listeners and viewerships alike. And that's what I want to kind of want to go into as I try to like learn more about where to go from here, and just doing the dang thing. Because that, I mean, that's always the thing. All you guys can do is just do. And that is something that I always want to try to head towards, but sometimes you gotta budget, sometimes you gotta like crowdfund and stuff like that. Which, don't get me wrong, like that's the whole process. But like, I just want to create with my friends. I want to create with enthusiasts. I want to create with like-minded people that share the same interests as me. And so that's something like I'm really wanna. That's like literally one of the goals, especially this podcast, is that like I want to connect with like rising creators and indie filmmakers as much as possible, because they deserve much more of a spotlight, along with like industry professionals whom I had on a show, like Rich, Sean, like and so much more. And so like I want to be able to just branch out. And so that there is that. And also, I'm assembling the largest guest roster in the podcast history. So in the next couple of weeks, you'll probably see why I made that statement. So I can't say who yet, but stay tuned. So and just, I mean, I am doing it remotely. So like, and also trying to get those in studio episodes as in as possible, and trying to like find at least a studio. But with that being said, I do want to assemble a team of, not like, it doesn't have to be that big. It could be like a small team. So I'm really assembling a team. So I'm really calling all realists for this one. Um, when this episode's out, you'll probably see a couple of opportunity posters, whether it be podcast producing, editing, social media, researching, etc. If that's something that has if this is in your bag, this might be the opportunity for you. So you'll see that when this episode's out, or even after. So definitely send in your portfolio and your reels, and just other things to be in consideration for. So just send it over at spinmastermedia@gmail.com. That's spinmastermedia@gmail.com if you want to be considered, being part of the team. I don't I don't know what sets in stone yet, but hopefully I want to be able to create. I want this to be like an Avengers team, like the actual Avengers and the new Avengers, like Thunderbolts. Little spoiler for you. And so, yeah, man, I am super excited for this, especially acting for KTR. But but before I go, there's one more announcement, or there's one last thing I want to say. Excited for this venture, especially of how I want this podcast to kind of like branch out, and how I want this podcast to go. But I am excited to announce that I am going to be creating a Substack. For those that don't know, Substack is like a publication network. You could just talk about all things. Not just all things, but just every little everything and everything. And I said everything twice, which is probably a good reason. This Substack is gonna be called the Reelers Social Club. That is right, people. The Reelers Social Club. I've been wanting to make this kind of network since I've been doing a little bit of a rebrand. And the question that is at everybody's minds: what will be included? So I will include a few things. but I don't want to give too much away. So, because I'm kind of inspired by other podcasts, whether it be, oh boy, whether it be So True, shout out to Caleb Perrin actually, because I actually discovered that podcast within, I think Stavi's episode, I believe. Well, long story short, I did discover Caleb Perrin on I think one of the podcast episodes that he was on. And I did dig further through his podcast and stuff. And one episode that really caught my eye was when he did chat with his producer, Chance. And so that was like one of my favorite episodes today. And I'm like, this is so cool. And just they basically just shoot the shit, which is what this which was what I want to do for this Substack. And so that is the honestly that is kind of like that vibe I want to go for, you know. But I say think of it as letterbox, but literally just everything keeping things real and SPINMASTER Media related. So what are the benefits coming into this? Well, of course, you're gonna have some exclusives and bonus content. So you guys will be, if you subscribe, you will have early access before anybody else, whether it be on YouTube and etc. Just YouTube, because who else is who where because which video network are you gonna upload it anyway? So and also without ads too. So you'll get podcast episodes like the audio ones. You'll get those in the like no ads and stuff like that. And so and also you'll get bonus episodes which will be audio only because I want to make sure that we're able to kind of divvy our content. And then you'll get extended cuts for our both our in studio and our remote guests and stuff like that, having conversations in that regard. So that will be kind of like think of it as a bonus segment in that way. And also just I would say also shooting the shit because that's the most because literally how else are you not gonna do that? So that in itself you'll get access to that, and then you also get early access to other Spin Master Media originals. You know, whatever the stuff I'm working on, like you'll get like early access, whether it be like web series, television originals, shorts, and so much more. You guys will get early access for that because I do want this to be paid on the paywall, so you can't share this with anybody else, but you really have to subscribe. And then also I'm gonna do I'm gonna feature Spin Masters A List, which is kind of inspired by like First Take. If you guys don't know, First Take is like a sports show, and I think one of the segments I think they have like Steven's A List and stuff like that. So I'm gonna do Spin Masters A List, but for movies and shows of the week. So like, I would say this is kind of a little bit of a recommendation type of deal in kind of like this article form. So you'll see that that'll be part of the network, and then so much more. But those are the few things that will be featured at the Realer Social Club. So the Realer Social Club will be launching this fall. I can't say when yet because I'm gonna like lay stuff out and make sure that like everything's in tip top shape and making sure that we are on a roll with this one because I think like I'm trying to like learn Substack as I go because I did I tried using it at some point, but I do like follow like other Substacks like Tepper Talks. Shout out Tepper. She is one of the TikTokers who is like a screenwriter and also does marketing and stuff like that. So like she's been doing quite a lot with that, and so I've subscribed to that actually, and I've subscribed to like Caleb Substack, which I think like he used to do Patreon, but now he's in Substack, and he likes it though. He really likes Substack. It's really interesting. I'm super excited about this Substack, and I hope you guys are too, because we are hitting the ground running, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm looking truly, when I say this, I'm really, really looking forward to the things, just the incredible things I want to offer you guys. Because like I want this podcast to go above and beyond, despite you know whether it be followers, despite the listenership. I want this to go all the way up, like truther level type of thing, or card carrying type shit. You know, that I want something to do it like that. And so I'm really looking forward to this. Truly, I am, and I'm looking forward, to be on this journey with y'all and just learning as well. So with that being said, I think that's what I'll probably end it here. And so I think in the next couple of weeks, you'll probably hear the first few guests and stuff like that, as I'll be reaching out to people, because again, this will be the largest guest roster in the podcast history, and so I want to be able to kind of bring on people who are just rising, up and coming, and just having their names be heard, and you guys are going to be blown away by that. So with that being said, thank you so much for listening, especially in my first podcast episode in 2 years. I am super excited for what is to come, and I'm much super excited of like where to go from here, especially here in New York City / New Jersey, of course. And so make sure you follow along as well. So make sure you follow at Keeping Things Real Pod. Make sure you follow SPINMASTER Media as well. And make sure you follow me too at Cobbina Appiah on Instagram, because Instagram is obviously good. YouTube. And most importantly, I'm gonna be launching a BlueSky as well. So that in itself will you'll see that in the next few weeks or so, because I am gonna create an account for that, especially the podcast. And also follow my letterbox as well. I might be doing a little bit of an upgrade, so you'll see that, but we're gonna have to see. But anywho, thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to being on this journey with you guys. As always, stay real. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you soon.